So what's up, guys? Welcome back to episode 2 of Motor
We can
Kings
talk about
podcast.
what builds we like.
What builds we like, what builds we don't like.
It's like, let me show you this.
What the?
Isn't that insane?
It like floated
It's
off.
literally like... So,
I mean, that
like,
one is like a newer vehicle.
yeah, same suspension the other ones have, I guarantee. Not like same suspension, obviously, but I'm like...
It's the chassis, actually, Luke.
But,
Should we say another Welcome to Motor Kings podcast episode 2? I mean, you can say it this time, but I'm like, I did say it, and then we like interrupted each other. So I'm like, you can just say, go ahead.
oh, it's all right. Yeah, I had last time. You can go this time.
Oh, I had last time.
Did you put yours in and take mine out?
No, we both said it. But I said it. Hey guys, welcome to Motor Kings podcast. As episode 1, and then we talked about midgets, and then you said, and then you're like, let's do it together, and then we did it together. So.
All right, welcome back to the Motor Kings podcast. Today we are outside the garage, and I mean, to a nice crisp 42 degrees, probably maybe even colder. So it's not horrible, but not comfortable. And there's a big bright light on us. I think there's crowds of people.
There's crowds gathering. I can't tell. It's so far away. No, the thing is, like, the reason why we're outside. Oh, geez, the walking dog guy's back. Okay. Anyways, so
you said that way too loud.
Well, he got headphones in. If he doesn't, it's weird. Okay, here's the thing.
No, but like, I bet if he walks past, and he's just like, same walking dog. He's like, nah, I gotta be crazy. Then he walks back, and he's like, walking dog.
Yeah, like, is this like a podcast about watching people on the street? Like, oh, there's another person walking their dog.
Dude, imagine we were in this position where we drove past at night and we just...
The funny thing is, like, I guarantee that.
Oh,
like,
I gotta finish my sentence for
we
see a couple dudes doing this.
If we drove past and saw a couple dudes doing this, here's the sad part: is that we are like trying to be content people. You know what I mean? But like, I always just like dog on content people. When I see a dude like walking into a store with a vlogging camera, I'm just like, loser, dude,
freaking loser.
I hate that. If we passed this, we'd be like, they making a podcast? And I'm like, oh, here we are, doing the same thing.
Well, hey, man. Once we get big, they're gonna...
People don't care unless there's success.
Yeah.
Once we have money...
But here's the thing,
not that we're after that. Like,
what if we did have a large amount of success?
Yeah.
If they walked past,
if they
we'd
walked,
still be like, well, he doesn't know that though.
If he walked past, he might have seen us if we were big. But I've seen those guys. Highly doubt it.
Crowds would form. So,
hey, everyone in the neighborhood, Motor Kings are outside their house filming a podcast. Let's go stare at them. So anyways, no, I was going to say that we're outside because we posted the last podcast episode on a Monday, and we're like, bro, that's sick. That gives us Friday, Saturday, or Sunday to film it. And then we're like,
it's now
Friday?
9 o'clock
No.
Sunday night.
Saturday? No.
Yeah.
Sunday, 8 p.m. Let's start setting up. And here we are.
The sprinkler's turning on.
Starting the conversation.
So I think that's what we should expect, though. I told Brinley I'd be back at 10.
Yeah. No, this one's gonna be a long one, but
I think we can probably just tell him, like, we're planning on doing this every Monday. You guys should have a new episode of the full length, and then you'll see shorts, the highlights throughout the week. So that's what we're gonna set ourselves to.
Yeah,
Once a week. I mean, like, just for us to go for an hour.
I know, we just got. I mean, here's the thing. This week, so quick update on like what we've done on cars, which you'll see in like the Motor Kings main channel content. But we had a buddy that we met that at a car meet who was from France, and he has like a sick E36 wagon, and he wanted to come down and hang out with us because he lives a little bit up north. And then he brought his E46, and he wanted us to help him wrap some stuff. And there was like, you know how it is when you hang out with friends, you're like, let's get lunch, let's hang out, let's clean something, and let's do that, and let's do this. And then you're like, let's start on the actual project. And then you're like, oh, the actual project failed a couple times, let's restart. And then it's like 10 p.m. and you're like finishing up, and it's like everything's the most half-a thing. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking.
Finishing up, yeah.
Well, like, because I'm the one that like finished the front of the hood on the wrap.
And you cut it way too short?
Well, no, it's fine actually. But like, because we were just like pulling it so much, you know how you grab the edge of the wrap so much that like the edge was so crinkled up and stuck to itself that I don't know what I was thinking, because if it was my car, I'd be like, no, it has to like come around the bottom, seal perfectly, be cut off. Right. But no, like if you open up his hood on the bottom edge of the front where the nose is for the kidneys, just like crinkly. And I'm like, and then I like finger painted the inside because I was like, we gotta go, dude. I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And like, but like honestly, he was stoked about it. Like in the morning, he's like, it looks
the
so good.
picture I saw, I was like,
No, yeah, and like honestly, one day of it sitting out in the sun, and like a lot of the little wrinkles and like
Really?
the little like weird wrinkle marks from like the bending and the wrap is like gone.
No way, that's sick.
Yeah,
I'm
so
glad.
like, it looks.
And you guys
smaller.
did the rear trunk thing, so that looks a little better.
We also used weather stripping adhesive, and it was like a very orangey weather stripping adhesive on the BMW logo, and I just like cut little holes inside where the mounts is. They're like little mounts, and then put some other adhesive, put a bunch on there, stuck it there, held it there. It's still like a little like wobbly, but I'm
Still, like this morning it was?
yeah. And I'm like, you should probably get some like super glue or something because it's just sticking to the actual wrap. I'm like, you can peel that off later.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he still has like a good condition BMW logo. If not, we'll rock out of it or something.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did that. That was a lot of fun. I added some things to E36. Did we even get that in the video?
Well, I mean, like a lot of times when you're just like kind of just like going off, adding things to your car without like telling me film this, I'm like, if he wants to film it, he'll like come grab the camera or something like that. And you did for a second, and I was like, well, just
I
like
literally said, I'm gonna be putting these on. Last thing.
I know. And then I was like, I kind of leave it up to you. And so when you don't, I'm like, I guess he doesn't think it can be a video.
So what? No, we could just like update. Be like, so this is the final product.
Yeah.
So the thing that happened though is, it got shipped horribly. Like the freaking, which is not the fault of SC track parts, but so these are the OEM intake areas. So you have the fog lights. I have the fog light deletes that route straight to my brakes, and then the OEM ones, I routed that to the crank, basically the engine, and then the other one is just straight up to my intake.
Nice.
It's pretty sweet. So, but the actual like placement of it, or like where it hooks into the bumper, which has these little tabs, so it just utilizes like the OEM tabs. When it got shipped, it's just 3D printed, so it cracked along one of the lines because it's just like my box was destroyed.
Nice.
So I texted him and he's like, "Yeah, I'll send you another one. Is there anything else you need?" And when I was installing it, the top tab clicks in like this, and I just was like, I'll just push it in, and I'll just go, but it just went and snapped the
That's
tab.
the new one?
And I was like, yeah, I was just like, but I mean, they're like, it's like $40, so it's like not that expensive for both. For the
Oh,
set.
yeah.
And he said he's gonna send me another one of these, so I just said, I'm like, you can just send me like it hooks in on the bottom one, but it just kind of like sags back. Like, honestly, I guarantee it does like almost nothing to the actual airflow that I need, but just it's sagging, and I'm like, hey, I actually probably need the passenger side too. I can just buy that separately though if you want. Like, I'll just give him like send him $20 or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty sweet. Just the height, I still on like when I'm going fast.
So have you adjusted the height on the front?
Yeah, that's what I did. So I'm just gonna adjust it a little more, and then I should be chilling there. And then there's a few things I was gonna do tonight or that night, but ended up not. So it's fine. But basically, so we can update it.
Yeah, update some track part stuff on E36. No, dude, that was like, I mean, it was extremely funny for me. It was like more sad for him, but when we were sanding his hood, and like he was like, I was like, do we use some filler primer? He's just like pulling it. He's like, this is working. I'm like, it is filling those areas, but I'm like,
If you guys had like a orbital like yeah, for sure, like that wouldn't be a bad move.
yeah,
Pull it in all the chip areas and really sand it down. I mean, like you guys like sanded it half-ade and then like pulled it up and like, it's basically fine.
yeah. I was like, I'm like, feels pretty good. But
And
I'm
we
like,
put
no,
the wrap down, you can see like pools all
yeah,
over.
yeah. No,
Listen,
it's a little
I mean-
sad, but I'm like, it was just so funny to watch him because he's like, I don't really care that much. Like, let's just do it. I'm
It
like,
is
okay.
nice because I mean he's just like a wholesome 20-year-old kid that has this $1,500 wagon, and like it's kind of lit. I
Yeah.
do hope one day he tears it all off, obviously, and repaints the green because it's like that beautiful green. But
Bro, and okay, so this is something I learned doing the wrap on the hood, is like, bro, the pain that you go through and like how it comes out like not perfect, and I'm just like, it's not worth it for me. As in, I don't want to learn how to wrap. Yeah, it's just across the street. I know.
I'm just
Just like
Choice.
someone walks into the light.
Keep going.
So yeah, I don't want to wrap like almost ever again. Like when people say like, "Oh, I'm gonna wrap my whole car," I'm like, dude, I just like
I'd
would
rather, it'd be so much more worth it to just pay someone. Like I've gotten a professional
Either-
quote
yeah.
by someone I trust a lot.
yeah.
That's not giving me a special discount. I said around $2,500 for my E36, and you might be like, "But I don't want to spend $2,500." Okay, then
I'm just telling you, it's so horrible. It's like it's torturous to me.
it's either you don't care enough to pay $2,500, and then you'll just get a horrible time doing it and things that have mistakes, or You pay. I mean, like you just have levels to it. So yeah, you can go get like the cheetah wrap get the whole like all of what you need for your car for $600. It won't look that great because you don't have experience. Or then you have like the next level. You pay a professional to do it. It costs like $2,500 to $3,500. Or you get it fully painted and it costs like $6,000 to $7,000. So it's like you gotta just choose.
That's my thing. Is like the wrap is really torturous, and it's not forgiving. As in, like if you mess up or it tears or like you burn it or whatever, it's like okay, the wrap's done. You have to pull the whole thing off and extend it down, use more wrap or whatever, replace the wrap. But I'm like on paint, it's like. Man, you just have sanding and buffing and more paint, more base coat. I'm gonna be real though. But that's what I'm saying. My point of this conversation and bringing this up is that I don't want to ever wrap. I want to just save up for the condenser, the compressor for the air, and just learn how to paint.
Let's be real though. I mean, we've wrapped twice. And both were hoods, which I mean, it's just a big panel, especially when if you don't know how to wrap a big panel, it could be kind of an issue. But I'm like, I'm sure if we just practice a little more, we'd be like, oh, it's not that bad. Because like I asked. We worked with this guy who worked with us at UPS. Yeah. And then I met him at Supreme Tints and Wraps. And he's like, yeah, I work here now. I'm like, oh, that's sick. And
which one is it?
He's like kind of blonde, super blonde hair. Maybe not gingery, but like.
Is he like the buff dude? The buff dude?
He may have looked like he worked out. He wasn't. I mean, off of what I remember, he didn't look jacked. But I'm like,
okay, I don't remember who you are talking about, but that's fine. Keep going.
He's not that one like kind of swaggy, quieter.
Oh, okay.
Gym dude. But yeah, so I asked him, like, so is it, like, pretty hard? And he's like, at first, but then you, like, once you get a hang of it, it's, like, way easier than tinting. Tinting sucks.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah, because he's like, tint is not very forgiving.
You know what we need to find?
You can stretch wrap, and you can kind of, like, pull it up. But this, it's like, once you kind of squeegee it, you kind of just got to, like, tear it off. Which is not as expensive to tear off. Like, wrap, you have to tear off. Like, it's more expensive, but it's, like, it's just way more forgiving that you don't really need it. I mean, again, like, when it tore... I barely pulled up. I was just like, oh, we just got to pull this part up. And I'm like, it's just because it's like 3-year-old wrap.
No, that's the thing. Is like, I don't know why the second wrap that we had used was better. I get that it wasn't like opened before. Yeah. And it was like, it's just not used. But like, it still has been sitting there like the other wrap. Anyways, I'm glad it didn't tear. Because if it tore,
yeah. Torn?
If it tore, then yeah, we'd have to tell him like, sorry, buddy.
You're rocking a primed hood.
You're rocking a and I remember he was like, just random shiz, and then he was like, I'm just gonna draw a line across, and we're gonna fill that in. And he like drew the line across, didn't fill it in, and then like got outside of the line a little bit. I'm just like, this thing is randomly primed.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It was just so funny, dude.
It's alright. It's just a very 20-year-old thing of him to do.
Yeah. So, and like when he listens to this, which he probably will, I'm just like, hey man, I'm glad we got the wrap on. It looks really good, and this car is freaking swag baller. And the thing is, like, his car actually gets like compliments. Like, I mean, not that I've heard a compliment, but when we were getting, he claims it gets compliments. No, when we were getting Panda Express in it, I saw like a big off-road Tacoma truck thing, and like the dude's like kind of perked up and looked down at it, and then when the dude passed, he was like,
all right, I'm gonna be real.
It's a E36 wagon. How can you not?
Yeah, if it was my car, and I'm not saying like, well, I have money, so I would have like, but I'm like, I would not have wrapped that hood. That hood was fine. It had rock chips, but I'm like, you have bigger fish to fry, my friend.
It's true.
Your valve cover has pools of oil in it. You have a mismatched color fender. I'm like, those are the things. If I looked at his car, I'd never be like, his hood. I'd be like, no, his fender and his wheels.
And like pulling off like the camo off the front bumper. The thing is, though, in his defense, I'm just like, he probably never would have done that, but we were like, remember he said, I have extra red wrap. And we're like, we probably wouldn't use that, but we have extra black wrap if you want. He's like, black wrap? And so he probably just was like, what can I use that for? And he's like, perfect size for my hood. Let's just use my hood. I mean, I probably would have used it for the roof.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would have looked sicker, but...
And it's like less obvious with mistakes. But I'm kind of realizing we're yapping about this very situation that we're like, oh yeah, remember this thing? And we're like, oh,
yeah, I remember when this happened. No, I mean, that's the thing is I want to talk about more general stuff, but...
Is it going to rain?
I really hope not. It's starting to really smell like rain, dude. Bro, if it starts raining on all my equipment, bro, it's going to suck. No, but...
Dude, it's finna rain, bro. Hold on, let me just check the weather app.
I will say, by the way, make sure not to like rub around on the mics too much.
I just keep seeing it doing. Sorry, I mean, I'm not gonna do it, but it's like sideways.
That's fine. But mostly like when you like this, and your fingers like on it.
Can you hear
like,
it?
Yeah.
That sucks. These things suck.
Well, the point is to get a stand, which is why I wanted a table. On a stand.
On a stand.
I want to edit all this part out.
No raining.
Nice.
We don't need it. We don't need to edit this out.
This part where people are literally just sitting there going like, "What's happening?"
Listen, have you ever listened to a full-length Tiny Meat Gang?
No.
I've listened to probably 150 of them.
What?
It was during my what's it called?
When are you listening to 150 podcasts?
Oh, they're like 400 now or something like that.
Wow.
And so, but it was when I was doing.
You're telling me there's times
golf
where they're just like,
course.
What do you?
I mean, nothing like that, but it was like there's like, oh yeah, dude, wait, by the way, what's this? And there's like, anyways, so like they definitely like get sidetracked.
I mean, I will say like
you're in 45 minutes deep into a podcast. Like, yeah, you're not
gonna be like, okay, turning the shiz off and never listen to them again. That is not make it or break it.
And you
made
like
a joke
them
out about it.
And you like their personalities. So we're just helping people like ours.
So,
but I guess we can transition. This whole thing is like.
But I just wanted to say, like, if you've ever experienced rap, it sucks. Don't do it. Learn how to paint. Save up your money. I don't know. I just don't want to do that.
Or just learn how to rap. Get high quality rap. Don't wait 3 years to put it on.
I'll be honest. Like, my point still stands, as in, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, for anyone out there that wants to rap, yes, do it right. Get experience. It won't be easy your first time. But what I'm saying is that experience from now on, like, my main goal will be how fast can I learn how to use spray paint cans in 2K clear and make it look good, and then how fast can I then save up for an actual compressor and get a spray gun and then get a booth and then paint like that, because I'm like, I would much rather just do that.
I feel like
the only time rap is good is when you're like, I like my car color but I want to switch it up, but I want to keep my car color, then rap.
That's kind of what I want with the E36. I eventually do want Alpine White, but I kind of want to see the car in Alpine White.
It would suck if you paint it and it comes out and you're like, oh, you hate it. You're not gonna hate it, but you'll never be able to go back to silver.
And I also want clean Alpine White sooner, and I'm not ready to tear, because I want like the entire thing redone. I'm talking like
to the
everything
frame,
stripped,
to the core,
and like dashes out, and I spray paint. I paint.
Yeah, I get the spray paint is like in a can, but like, man, it's still spraying if you use a compressor and a gun. Anyways,
so yeah, I mean, like, I'm just not ready to pay for that or do that anytime soon, really. But I want an Alpine White sooner, so I'm like, go get high quality, somebody that's professional. Maybe I can do it myself. Maybe I can like do simpler things myself.
Yeah.
Like, it's that way. It's like not as expensive, but I don't know. But always, basically, I would like to transition this.
Yeah, take the freak away from rapping.
And also just like our very niche stories that nobody knows what we're talking about. Transition this into like what we were wanting to talk about, just car builds that we like and cars that we don't understand people buying and building, or just buying in general.
So just modding cars.
Modding
which is what our entire channel is about.
Yeah.
I mean, do we want to start with things we like or don't like? Because I feel like it's more fun to talk about things we don't like, just to complain about other stuff.
Let's complain, dude.
Well, I mean, it probably still makes noise, but like, it's fine.
Junk. They're
not junk. They're nice things. You just don't want to be like manhandling them the whole time.
Hey, listen, if somebody complains, then I'll start doing something.
Okay, well, look, we have to spend about $300 gripping this thing, dude.
I'm like tossing mine around, and Gabe's like,
I'm like a freaking statue over here. No, I'm just saying, $300, and we'll have a whole. I don't have to bring my laptop anymore, and we'll have actual nice podcast mics.
Okay,
$300.
So, what are some mods you don't like?
Okay, well, here's about maybe just kidding. Speaking of maturing, there are mods that I used to love and that I don't like, and there's mods that I used to love and still love that other people have matured past. As in, like, I still like blacking out things that should be blacked out. For example, like window trim, I think you still like.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, if I had a E92 335 or something like that
with the
and
silver,
I did not have Shadowline trim, 100%, I would either Shadowline swap it or I would wrap that black, because I think that looks horrible. I think modern cars look better with black.
Yeah.
I think it's just period correct, and I don't think E92s were updated in time. That's why they went to Shadowline. Like, didn't they update it like?
I think LCI might have more, but I think my 2007 or 2008 335 still could have a Shadowline option.
So that's how I feel about it. Is I'm like, it just has to be period correct. I would never, ever, ever put chrome on anything, really, on like anything.
You wouldn't choose to put chrome on it, but if it had it,
like, well, yeah.
Well, I mean,
if I had a '60s Mustang, I would prefer just like the standard chrome where chrome was, than blacking it out. And
But, like,
I understand
okay.
because people do like a Nardo Gray 69 Mustang with blacked out everything, and I'm like, it's cool and all. I mean, if I was going like a Batman vibe, maybe, but I'm like,
But that's the thing is, like, I wish there was a way to, like, just see it back to back, because if you saw a black Mustang with a bunch of chrome and you blacked it out, or a white Mustang with a bunch of chrome and then you blacked out the chrome just side by side, I feel like we'd just be like, ooh.
I guess it also depends if it's done right. Like,
black
'cause
is
sometimes you can tell when something's just wrapped black.
No, yeah,
And
I don't want to like look like it. I don't want to make it look like that, but like a nice black chrome where it's a really shiny black would look so good.
Okay, but let's talk about like black chrome. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, but like that black chrome that he got on the RPF ones.
I thought those looked so
No,
good.
they looked great, but that wasn't black. It was like gray. It was just called black chrome. But I'm talking about like it looks like gloss black. It's just like super shiny.
Okay, you're talking about just gloss black.
But
Piano
super-
black. Gabe
yeah,
loves his piano black.
Okay. But no, but I think that like another mod that like people have matured past is like black roof, black mirrors. I'm like, I think the reason why it's become a matured past sort of thing is because now it's like every Hyundai Elantra comes with a black roof, black mirrors, and I'm like, yeah, like I get it's kind of like a little done now. Every Audi kind of has like black roof, but I'm like, I just still think it looks really good.
Well, I feel like it's the same vibe as blacking out your hood.
I
It's
mean,
the same vibe because that's what you're going for. Is you have carbon fiber mirrors and carbon fiber roof, but you don't.
Yeah, but you're not going for that. You're just going for like a sleeker look, because what black does, this is why like I feel like the G80 M3 and the G80 M4 have that black little stripe underneath, is because the side skirt goes down lower. They just split it with paint, half black, half paint color, and then when you look at it, it makes the car look like thinner in the middle and bigger towards like the arches, and it just makes it look beefier.
This is stuff that you look at, man. I have no idea. I've seen G80s a million times, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. But
Well, I'm just that same thing with the limited edition Focus RS. I'm like, it's got a black roof, the black wing, and the black mirrors. And then when you look at it, the paint is the only object that kind of shows up in your mind. So it's like a sleeker, sharper look. Whereas the whole thing is paint match. It's just kind of like a big blob. And that's just my opinion.
you guys can call me what's the word? You'd have to tell me what this would be called. But like, if it's done from factory, I'm like, okay, I can see it. But if somebody does it on their own from factory, could be the exact same situation. I'd be like, I don't know.
Yeah, kind of purist, but like, yeah, like I tell you, dude, this Focus RS Special Edition comes with black mirrors. You're like, OEM, I love that. And then I'm like, dude, I blacked out my non-OEM RS mirrors because it didn't, this
They never came with that factory. I'd be like, it's kind of gay. No.
Yeah, no, but I don't know.
Can I say that?
Honestly, at this point, let's just be ourselves.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Trump's in office, so
Can I say that? No, I think that majority of people probably say that, and we're fine. But no, I mean, here's the thing. I would much rather get actual carbon fiber mirrors and then be like, look, they're carbon fiber, and everyone's like, well, wait, and then it's like just kind of looks black. But I'm like, I'm also okay, like just like. Depends on the. I'm not gonna buy an E36 M3 that's mint and be like, I'm just gonna paint these mirrors black. No, I'm not gonna do that. If there's like an official aftermarket, or not that official, but like some sort of Schnitzer, or I don't know, some
Dynan, I don't know, something
yeah,
that's
some
like,
brand that's a racing brand that has a carbon fiber mirror that looks decent. I don't really like the thin spoke little like buddies, the little square buddies. I want like an actual good looking mirror that's carbon fiber. I'll buy that over the paint, but I'm like, I think things look better with certain blacked out.
Most of the time I do agree with as far as like blacked out mirrors, blacked out roof. Like if I had an EK hatch, I think but now I'm thinking about it, dude. If like my Midori green, if I had the actual mirrors that went out, I don't know what style they're called or anything like that, but they're not the normal freaking. And those were like Midori green paint match. I think that would look pretty dang good.
I think it depends on the color too, because I think on white, like on my white EG hatch, I'm like, yeah, I think black mirrors and a black carbon fiber wing.
Then I picture white, and I'm like, that would also look really good.
It's nice. It's either. I mean, like to me, I'm like, I've seen. Okay, you know how like EGs don't have a stripe on the side unless it's an SI.
Yeah.
Right. It just has the indent, kind of like mine. And then like sometimes the handle is paint matched or it's not. I'm like, I've seen where the handle is paint matched and there's no black stripe. Wait, for the car. I've seen where it's like all paint matched on the side. I'm like, yeah, it looks pretty good. And then I've seen where it's a black handle and a black stripe, and I'm like, dang, looks pretty good. So I'm okay with either, but I do like a little bit more black on the white. But Midori green, no, for sure. Like if it's a nice color.
And then I think the reason why we even started talking about this, because I don't know, like a week ago we had my E36 and we're looking at it, and E36s are completely paint matched everywhere essentially. I mean, not I guess this black side trim and then the handles, but like obviously the roof, the wing, the mirrors are all the same color. And for some reason this is like the only car that I do feel pretty strongly, I'm like, let's say I somehow put a carbon fiber roof, I think I would just paint match it because that just looks so good the way it is right now. And if it was slick top, bro.
I will say this though: if you swapped it to a carbon fiber roof, I would say hold off on like a couple months.
I'll show you.
Okay,
it looks good. Like a carbon fiber roof
on
looks
silver
good.
though. Have you seen it on silver? Is this on silver?
It's on white.
Oh,
Clean yourself up. So
love white cars, bro.
this is something that like I kind of feel like, dude, this is possible to roof swap. Like,
Bro, if I can get like a better angle though, like that looks amazing.
which is funny. Wait,
What?
13.
How much are you actually saving on E36?
Without
roof?
the motor, let's see. Hold on, I just want to do quick maths. kgs to pounds.
Without the motor, what is this with
I
the?
freaking forgot what the first number was.
My bad.
I can't freaking remember things. 30 pounds is what the stock without the motor or anything. Just literally the panel being there.
It's 30 pounds.
30 pounds.
And then what is the carbon fiber roof?
8.
So you save 22 pounds.
Just with the roof. So I'm like, and the motor is 100% like 25 pounds, 30 pounds.
So yeah, so if you have a moonroof thing and you remove that and then remove the entire panel and then put carbon fiber on, the carbon fiber entirely is 8 pounds.
Yeah, for that entire roof.
And it has structural rigidity.
Yes.
Wow.
Probably more. And I'm like, that's the reason why I'm like, dude, I want to do this.
I don't understand. Okay, dude, let's get into this. I don't understand carbon fiber. Now I get people who are like, well, it's carbon and it's fiberly woven.
Epoxy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's literally epoxy. It's plastic.
I feel like it should be as strong as the epoxy is.
Why are you weaving
This
some
is why
carbon?
we aren't engineers. So I'm like,
Yeah, and I don't need to be. But I'm just saying, like, when I see people make carbon fiber, I always assumed it was like some like aerospace technology, weird like forging of this like plastic carbon stuff that's not plastic, but it's carbon, but it's not metal, but it's better and lighter. I don't know. And then when I see people make it, and they're just like, here's fabric,
yeah.
put it down, plastic liquid, dries, boom, stronger
Now
than metal.
it's, yeah.
How?
I know. It doesn't make any sense. And I freaking
I love it.
Dude, that's a real. Anyways.
Every single time a reel is like made, I'm just like, oh,
Nice.
we'll need those this week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying the last 2 days we haven't posted any reels, and it just hurts.
I know. But hey, I think we posted one every day still.
Mm. Did we post one yesterday?
I
Saturday?
thought you did yesterday. Anyways, doesn't matter. So
We just like stare at each other for 15 minutes.
going back.
Yeah, let's backtrack here.
And also just real quick side note, forged carbon.
Okay.
That's lame as freak.
Yeah, that's another thing, dude. Forged carbon,
It's not
it's worse.
good. Yeah, it's way worse.
It's one of those like biggest scams of the automotive industry.
Yeah. Parker.
Mark, give me those oranges. Oranges? Okay. Anyways. No, but I'm being serious. Like forged carbon fiber, I'm like, I don't know. I think I liked it for like 20 minutes. I was like, yo, that's sick. And then like immediately I was like, I don't think I like this anymore.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if it was legit, like this was like real, and it's just like another way to lay down carbon fiber. See that on a freaking Aventador, you'd be like, holy crap. But
Yeah.
I'm like, nah.
Well, think about it. Like now that we've talked about how carbon fiber is made, it's like which one is stronger if you're just gonna lay epoxy
Like
over
a
it?
whole.
Yeah, it's like weaving it through in like a massive like back-to-back hexagon. I don't know, some words.
Yeah.
And then like or just like tossing some in there.
Yeah. It's literally just flakes with plastic. Yeah.
No, like
some
weaving it
bullcrap.
is much better.
Anyways, so
But
going
black
back.
roof.
E36. There's just times like keeping it period correct just does feel a lot better. Because I stand by it. Chrome, I will never think really looks good.
Yeah.
Like if I
like your chrome
if I
wheels.
had a late 70s, early 80s Bronco,
Yeah.
I would be so tempted to not put a single touch of chrome on there. But I'm like, it did have a bunch of chrome stock, and I'm just like,
Depends on who you want compliments from, though. Like if you have like perfectly minted chrome, like the way it was back in the 70s Bronco, like you're gonna have old dudes that are like, bro, how much for this?
Yeah.
But it's like if you have it all like off-roaded, blacked out, murdered, and like wrapped some cool like flat color, every kid is gonna be like, yo, that thing's sick. And I'm like, yeah, it's the generation.
And honestly, old people will love it.
That's true.
But
How can you not?
yeah, so that's the thing. It's mostly period correct unless I don't like it.
I like it period correct unless it doesn't look it.
But then going back, I'm like, dude, it just the thing that sucks Because Mom, I was talking to her. She just said that like she's seen Chrome come in.
She's Chrome.
She's seen Chrome come and go,
Mhm.
and it's like it's just a trend.
Coming and going is a trend, bro.
Who's this? Who's Chrome? And why is he doing that?
Chrome comes and goes.
Anyways,
Okay.
So, and it is a trend. I mean, which is
Yeah.
not necessarily like the biggest revelation of all time, but I'm like,
I mean, everything on cars is a trend. I mean, have you seen like the most standard like SUV ever, Kia Telluride's all like blacked out with yellow daytime
that's
running
the
lights?
thing
I'm
that
like,
I almost feel like when like a Kia is starting to do it, does that mean it's on its way out? For
Yeah.
sure. I do think that like the plasticky black does not really look good. That's why I just got rid of my grills. Because I'm
Yeah.
just like, to me, it doesn't really look that great.
I just want and that's the thing is like it is true when car manufacturers start to put on like performance mods like stock like. Not that like Hyundai Elantra N isn't a cool car. I think I have a lot of respect for like the whole N line in Hyundai, but I'm like, but like Civic Type R's and the N line and all this different stuff, and even M cars these days are starting to come with the lips and the little bits, and
Yeah.
and I'm like the day that like Canards just come on like a regular old like $30,000 like 280 horsepower car, I'm gonna be like, dang, really? Or just like building track cars right off the factory. I'm like,
and then they
it's not
won't
really
warranty
real.
it.
Yeah.
Because if you track it.
well, that's the thing is like I want those things to kind of stay aftermarket because when I think of like my dream builds, most of them are like based on like track builds. Like when I see an E36, I'm like, nice. And then I see an E36 where it's like M3 style, and I'm like, nice. And then I see an E36 that's like M3 style but like OEM plus, and I'm like, oh, sick. But then I see an E36 where it's like tracked, like the fitment and like the wide
Yeah.
body and like all the stuff and the little holes in the canards and all the things, and I'm like, dude, that's like peak. And I'm like, but a lot of times on those track builds, ton of black stuff. Now, if you have a livery, I get it. It's like whole thing is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
wrapped or there's chrome. But I'm like, unlike Dude, where it's not like a company, but just a dude building a track car, a lot of stuff's blacked out. But it's like, dude, but it's like, it's blacked out, but not like gloss black piano eBay. You know what I mean? It's like used,
Yeah,
but
well,
it's
that's
black. And I'm like, I
that's the
like
thing.
that.
I'm like, I think I'm starting to get just like, because it's funny. Back in the like high school when I had my Miata, I was so just like form over function, just like
How can I make this look cool?
astronomically.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't care how this drives. I don't care how I enjoy it really as I'm driving. I want this to look exactly how I'm picturing or whatever. And then as time goes on, I get just further and further away from that. Then I'm like, the look of a completely functional only track car starts to become so beautiful. And I think
Yeah.
that's also part of what like a lot of stancy drift boys like too sometimes is like, you know, they like the zip ties that's just holding the bumper on and the big like freaking e-brake thing that I'm like, you know, you could say that doesn't look good from a different like a normal person's perspective, but it looks really good when you think of it like, but this thing imagine what this thing could do.
Yeah.
That's the same thing when I think of like just a car that dailies the Nürburgring or something like that, and you just see it's like so weathered and like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
carbon is like fading, but it's just
Yeah, and
I think that's beautiful.
You can't manufacture that. Like you have to
No.
just use your car. When you see those pictures of like an Audi R8 GT3 car and it's like just like used, and I'm like,
Yeah, the
Man.
LMP cars after 24 hours or whatever, you're just like, that's
okay.
it's art. And that's the thing that sucks. Is like people were saying like with the Daytona race that just really happened, that they wish that like the winners, at least the podium cars, could be put into a museum every year.
it's like, oh, dude, just to stay the way they are.
Stay like this is the beast that just really did the 24 hours. And I'm like,
That'd be sick.
Oh,
Because I was
that'd
gonna
be so
say
sweet.
like, imagine a company where they manufactured the look of a used GT3 car.
That's good.
So you bring in your brand. No, think about it. You bring in the new car, and they have like a bunch of rocks and dust in like a giant fan thing, and they just blow it at the front of your car for like 30 minutes, and then they're like, all right, you pull out, and there's like holes and like
Do you want to
scrapes.
do that?
There's like 4 customers in the world. I'd like to destroy my car.
Yeah, I think they'd rather go drive their car for 24 hours. That's the thing
fair.
that people don't want.
They don't want to put miles on it.
They
Okay,
want dust
keep
and
your-
rocks.
Yeah. You buy a car brand new from factory, 30 miles. We dust it. It comes out looking like a GT3 car, 30 miles on it still.
Just because there's
Genius
dust on
idea.
it, it looks like a GT3.
Well, no, there's not dust. It's scrapes. Destruction on the front end. But how do you get like the
But we
tire
really just go
marks?
take it and track it.
Yeah, they're like, no, we're gonna spray it. They like leave. We're just like, honestly, not a bad idea. Anyways, I
I think
do
it'd be cooler Just the idea of like buying one of those as like genuine art, but that's expensive. Going back,
track cars. Looking at
also, I think. Go ahead. Yeah.
Just that like some cars though, I do not want to look weathered. I'm like a daily, like certain daily kind of cars, like that I don't want to track. I do like the idea of tracking Civics, but I'm like right now, in my opinion, for my Civic, I'm like I do want this almost to turn into like you look at it and you're like, dang dude, that's the mintiest EG I've seen, and it's got a slightly turboed B18C where it's like just comfortable
nice
power.
OEM plus.
Yeah, it's like I just want like nice everything, good overall build. And like I do like the idea of
kind of like an OEM or an OMG Miata, less crazy, but
yeah. I want it to be like you're like, oh, that is so sick, such a sick build that is.
Yeah, and everything's just really crisp.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So
and then I want
like
it to be like
Miata. Are you disagreeing with me? Are you disagreeing with me with that? Because I'm like,
I think no. I mean like yes.
Okay, cool.
I want it to look like an OMG Miata build. Like you see it and you're like, dang, that's mint.
Well, like
mostly because
have you seen his Integra?
It's like a white Integra Type R.
No, not even close. But
okay. Anyways, I mean, like I would do less.
It's yellow.
What? It was white at one point.
It was white at one point. Now I'm realizing. Okay, it's yellow and it's not a Type R. It was an LS.
Okay. Are his builds even cool at this point?
I mean, he tracks it, and it's literally got like it's like exactly what you're describing. How you want your Civic to be, like that.
But it's an LS.
I mean,
now you might
turbo though.
You might say, but yours is a CX-AG. But I'm like, mine has a GSR engine in it.
I don't think I would have said that.
What engine did he put in it?
I think he's planning on B18C Type R, JDM Type R swapping it.
Okay, but for now, it's still a B18B.
Or it's K swapping.
Or a B18B. It still has a B18B in it?
I think so, but like he tracks it, and it's literally got like...
You keep saying he tracks it.
I mean...
But he tracks it, so it's fine.
Well, yeah, because I'm like,
so what engine does it have in it? Is it stock? You're like, he tracks it.
well, you should see what he's got set up.
No, I'm sure it's like a really dope build. I do want something like that. I'm like, because if I was to get like an E46 M3, I'm like, I probably would like just slowly, little by little, move towards track build.
How do I get you just in a track car, dude? What do I got to do?
Well, I'll be honest. Like, I have the EG. Once it's running like mint, no leaks, like, okay, it's going to be a while. But I'm like, the EG is going to be my car for a while. But once it runs mint and it's reliable and I can like daily that, I'm like, after that, I'll be honest, like, either it's some daily car, like CRV or a truck, which is kind of lame. But I'm like, or, because again, this is all money involved. I'm like, or it's going to be an E36 325, dude. And then I'm going to...
If you got the truck, would you track the EG?
No, okay. I can have...
I said it. When will I get that thing in the track?
I don't know. You want me to have a track car? I don't know. Maybe I'll... I mean,
you don't need a track car. When are you going to be at the track racing a car?
I don't know. Maybe 2 cars, maybe 3 cars.
2 or 3 cars later?
No, like total. Like how many I have.
Well, what car would you track? What are you doing?
I'm just checking my texts to make sure it's not my wife asking me where the heck I am.
Well, it probably is.
No, it's not. But no, you're asking me where and am I going to track? The thing is, like, if I was to build an E36 325 IS, right, the reason why I want to get one is because I want to turbo it. And I'm like, and if I was to turbo that, I'm like, it's not going to be a drift build. So I guess that could be a starting track build, sure. Like I want that to be like just like a experiment, learn the inline 6 BMW platform, learn how to do a turbo swap, learn real drive differential stuff, get an LSD. Like I want to do the whole like mounted shifter. I'm like I kind of want to gut it. I'm like that'll just be like kind of like the Civic, but like the Civic was like a gutted shell that I engine swapped. That I'm like moving towards a very clean OEM build that is date label. The E36 325 would be like if I got it as a shell or I got it as a gutted project car and just like moved it towards a very well-running track car that like if I pushed it would drift. I don't want to do a giant angle kit, but like I know that track cars have angle kits. So I'm like I'm not going to do a drift build where like there's like the polyurethane kind of like flop back into place body kit. No. But I'm like but I would like it to be a track car that's fast and that like if I was like pushing it, yeah, I could drift it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the answer to your question. It is.
So it's when you have a fully built 325 that's not even on your to-do list yet. Okay.
No, it is. It is either the next car or the car after that. It is either the next car or after I get a daily. But then if I get a daily, I don't know. The Civic would just be like.
The Civic would be the daily.
Okay, fine. The Civic's the daily. It's my next car. Announcement.
Big news.
Big news for the Motor Kings fans. No, yes, the E36 325 IS I think is my next car because I want to keep. This is something. All right, every single time I say something, I'm like, okay, let me talk about this.
That's Phil. Okay.
Okay, no, but seriously, let me talk about this though.
Okay.
I sometimes don't want to muddy the waters when there's like a dream car in a certain category, as in, I love E46s. I really want an E46 M3. I'll never buy anything other than an E46 M3. I'm not going to buy an E46 330i because I just don't want to muddy the waters with my experience with an E46. I want to save the E46 platform.
That's kind of what I did with the E36 and why I want to buy an E30 325 IS because I'm just like...
You don't want to get like some random other one.
Well, and also I'm like, I'm not really going to get an E30 M3.
True. No, I 100% agree with that. I'm like, if I get an E30, it's just going to be... I mean, to me, honestly, like you might say I want all the extra things that came with the 325 IS. Me, I'm like, I just want an E30. And then I'll do whatever
I've got it down for just like an E30, but the 325 IS is nice because it comes with the engine basically you'd need. And then it also
M50?
comes with an LSD. It's an M20, but that's a really good engine.
Okay.
And that's where you can start throwing like some other
That's
parts.
true.
But
You don't have to like pay for that stuff. It just comes with it from factory, which is
you have
nice.
an LSD and you have the flex value and it's just like it's nice. So I'm like
true.
those are the reasons why.
Well, and this is why like I'm saving the E46 platform for the M3.
Pretty sure you can get 318 IS though. That comes with an LSD.
But then it has the four cylinder.
Not the good one, but yeah.
So I'm saving the E46 M3 for the E46 platform. But then for the E36, I'm like, I've almost never thought about getting an E36. So I'm like, you literally have the best one almost. So I'm like, I don't.
Not almost.
Well, yeah. Well, you're saying you do have the best one?
In my opinion.
Well, I'm just saying you said that the E36R somewhere that was better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm like, you have like the best M3. So I'm like, I've always been like, well, I won't get an E36. I've already experienced that. And so I'm like, what's the need? But I'm like, what I haven't experienced and what I've always wanted to do was find the best inline six from a BMW back in the day that could be a turbo swap. Now, or not turbo swap, to be turboed. If the E46, to be honest, if the E46 325 or 328 was the iron block M52, I probably would go that direction.
You swap the engine.
But
I like the look of E46.
But I'd rather just save the E46 for the M3 now.
E36 3 Series are way better than E46 3 Series.
Exactly. That's why I'm saving it for the M3 for the E46 and getting a 325 IS.
I'm glad you agree with that.
E36. Because now I'm like, oh, now I get to have an E36. And now to answer your question about when do I get you in a track car? And you're like, oh, so basically when you have an entirely swapped, perfect track car. No. If I got a 325 IS tomorrow and you're like, let's go track it, I'd be like, I got my Honda running perfect. Yes. You're doubtful.
I'm pretty doubtful. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, it just depends on like, how well it ran. If it ran as just like, if it wasn't leaking, but it ran as good as his E46, yeah. But it would be scary the entire time because I'm like, right now I have this fun running car. After the track day, I might have thousands of dollars of replacement parts.
Yeah,
that's the scary
fun
part.
Replacement parts.
Yeah, but I want to drive it.
I'm gonna be honest. Like sometimes, a little part of me hopes the 36 blows up.
Yours?
Not like blows up like the track.
That would suck. Hole in the block? 3 of them?
No. That I'm talking about.
Really?
Not a hole in the block. That's impossible. How am I gonna blow?
Yeah, you have to get a whole new S50.
No. I'm talking about like, I get a rod knock. Basically what I'm saying.
So, because you want to rebuild the engine and be like, this is.
I kind of want to be just like forced into it. I think
back
we talked about
motorsports
this before in a different.
No, we have talked about the fact that you want to be forced into working on a car, but forced into working on a car and like learning about it is great. Forced into having to spend a bunch of money, no, that's great. Now, I did spend a bunch of money.
But it's not spending a bunch of money like, now I have to buy a freaking water pump. Sometimes that sucks. But I'm talking about like
fun stuff.
Now I get to buy a Schrick cans.
Yeah, vacuum motorsport type build. Yeah. No, and I get that.
But like vacuum?
No, vacuum motorsports, not vacuum sports.
Vacuum motorsports.
No. And that's the thing is like, I would feel way more down if like tons of money was in my pocket, dude. If I was just like rich, I'd be like, oh man, blow up on me. Yeah, well.
This guy's saying a whole lot of nothing.
Just I have less money than you, bro.
No, I do not. No, you do not. Sometimes you say, I'm like, I can't buy this thing. I'm like,
okay, not to get into personal finances on the thing, but I'm saying like, that's true, but your bills are like nothing, man. You don't pay anything. No, it is like $2,500 a month total, but like that doesn't include food or tax or tithing. Where'd the $1,000 come from? We're on a podcast. We forgot about that. But like basically, giving like the next couple years, dude. Because here's the thing: when do you think like, okay, if I did keep my promise of like I'd track an E36, at what timeline do you think that'd be? A year, 2, less, 6 months?
Wait. Are you asking me what I think it should be for you?
Yeah. When do you think I should track an E36 that I find that? Because seriously, I'm not going to spend $6,000 cash on an E36.
Then it ain't happening.
Spending $3,000 on a 325.
You're not getting a 325 IS.
Well, there's already a 328 IS for $4,000 right now on KSL. It's been up there for weeks.
What's wrong with it?
Doesn't matter. I can fix that stuff. That's what I got. I want. Needs new clutch. 325 coupe manual. Let me pick that up, boy.
I mean, I guess if you find the perfect thing, I then expect it a lot sooner.
What, $3,000?
I say we go to Laguna Seca.
I say we split.
September
I don't
/
like
August, whenever the track day's coming up with Laguna Seca, super cheap, like literally like $150 for the track day. We're going to Laguna Seca, dude.
I mean, here's the thing. Motor Kings will be popping off because we're going to be consistently posting. So I'm just saying, like, there's a small chance I could bring a car there, but I'm like, regardless, I'm going there with you, and I'm filming the experience in your car.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's for Motor Kings?
Yeah, Laguna Seca is 10 hours away.
You're not driving there. We're flying, brother. You're shipping your car and you're paying the money.
No, I mean, like, it's 10 hours away. I mean, I have to be towing it, but
I mean,
it's 9 hours away. But I'm towing it, so it's not.
Is
like
it near in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just make a nice weekend trip. I mean, I got PTO, brother.
Paid time off.
They will pay me to go there.
Paid to have time off.
Same pay that I usually get, but
yeah, but now you're not losing money.
Right, I would still get my check, dude.
That's nice.
Yeah, dude. We take a nice, like we do like a Friday.
If I hop on a little Sally Sal, same thing.
So, anyways, yeah, no, I do want to track an E36, and I think that's a perfect track car for me because I just freaking I'm in love with BMWs, dude. And like, man, we need to talk about that more often, the whole BMW thing and like what other manufacturers we like. But I'm just like,
we'll talk about it next podcast.
Yeah, I just like BMWs. But one thing that I want to bring up, unless you have a bunch of other points you want to bring up, I'm like, we've talked about this a lot, and I think we know the answer to our question, but we still kind of ask it, is like, why do people buy normal cars when there are cool cars?
Well, all right, let's not even go into cool cars. Let's go into
semi-decent.
Like,
cool,
you'll ask
cool?
A person why they bought something, and there's really like they are just like, I just care about point A to point B. Why'd you get this car?
Yeah, it's like there's a
why'd you
cars.
buy a Stellantis vehicle? Why'd you buy a Kia or a Hyundai?
True. Well, okay. I talked to my boss a lot.
Freaking thinking, and you realize, hey, let's not do that.
Well, okay. I talked to my boss a lot, who has two. He has a Kia and a Hyundai, and I'm like, and now he loves those. The reason he buys them brand new, and I'm like, why? And he says they have a 100,000.
If it blows up for
6-year
100,000 miles, they will replace it.
And I'm like, I mean, buying it new, financing it, and like literally still having warranty after you pay it off.
But here's the thing that's like frustrating is it's not just the engine. You have issues all around. That warranty, I'm pretty sure it's just for the engine.
I don't know. Maybe it's a powertrain warranty.
No, okay, that's powertrain. But I'm like, other things go wrong in those vehicles.
Sure, but I'm just saying that he likes the warranty, and I'm like, okay, so for him, that's what it is. Now, I used to have a mindset of a normal car buyer when I bought my first car when I was like 21, and I remember when Dad was like, search for a car, and now there were times that I'd be like, like this is so funny. Like before I knew about BMWs, bro, I was just like, yo, BMW for $2,500. I'm like, dang. I'm like, well,
I have the exact same situation I want to talk about.
Yeah, every single time I'm just like, whoa, a BMW for super cheap. And like back then I didn't know what an E46 was, but that's what it was looking back. And I'm like, and yeah, it had like 150,000 miles, but I'm like, I definitely should have got that instead of what I got. Because I'm like, I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, I just assumed if anything was 100,000 miles, boom, not reliable, gonna blow up on me. Yeah. But I'm like, we got brother, our friend, with a 250,000 mile 325, and then Emily's old car, 260,000 mile 740i. That's a V8 BMW, and it's still going. And I'm like, I should have bought that. No, what I bought was a Ford Focus hatchback SE with 19,000 miles, thinking this thing will last forever.
Although, I mean, you definitely would have had issues with those, like valve cover leaking, and you'd have been like, I don't know how to fix this.
That's the scary thing, is like, if you don't know how to fix it, it can be scary. But my mindset when I was a regular car buyer was like, touchscreen would be cool, moonroof would be cool, and I'm like, shiny paint would be cool. And so I'd look through, I'm like, Volkswagen CC, look at the inside, I'm like, leather?
Volkswagen
I know,
CC.
dude. And then I'd be like, yo, Sonata? Whoa. Leather? Whoa. And I'd be like, moonroof in it? Touchscreen?
We had that Avenger, and we're like, yeah, this thing's kind of fire.
Dude, and the Avenger had like a V6, and like its 0 to 60 was like
really
6.7,
dude.
And it felt fast. When Mom first got it, I was like, let me drive it. Automatic, dude.
Well, dude, the experience I had was like right as I turned 16. I drove over to Alec Porter's house. We were hanging out, and he's like, dude, I really want this car. Pulls up a freaking Mark 1 Audi TT. and they were like $2,500. I was looking at it. I was like, dude, no freaking way.
An Audi for
I'm like,
$2,500.
Audi, a sports car, Audi, for $2,500 to $4,000. I'm like, and I went and told Mom, I'm like, you can get these? And she's like, and I told her, I'm like, this is the car I want. I'm like, you realize how cheap this is? And he was like, I don't want that thing. I'm like, you guys are nuts.
What are you doing buying a Chevrolet Trailblazer?
They have that?
We had a Chevrolet Trailblazer, but I think we got it for
Oh, that
$800.
was not when I was 16. That was like when I was 10. But yeah.
Well, what do they have when you're 16? A Jeep, a Nissan Altima,
Yeah.
and an Avenger.
Yeah. Brutal. Anyways,
yeah, no, I mean, we've both been there when you first realize that you can get like cool cars for kind of cheap, but even
nothing more expensive than a cheap cool car.
True though. And the sad part though is like those prices were goated. Nowadays, like they all would have been double, right? Because I'm like, we had a Camry that ran and drove, like that was our daily, and yet we couldn't sell it for $800, and then I got towed, and then I was like, should I buy this for $600 when the towing place was like selling it? And I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm like, bro, if anyone was like running and driving $600, I'd be like, that's so useful.
Yeah.
That's way more useful than $600. And that's just me. Like right now, if I had like a $600 beater that run and drove that I did not care about, I'm like, just run that into the ground while I fix the Honda Civic and I can actually get around.
Try to get you one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, you did try to give me one of those. But no, I think the normal car buyer, it's literally just like, what features do I want for the lowest price, for the lowest mileage, and the most reliability. That's
when you say it like that, it makes it pretty sound.
Pretty astound.
Pretty sound.
Well, that's the logic
Sound
they have.
thinking, yeah.
That's all they think. They go, mileage low, good. Price low, good. Reliable brand, good. And they go, features I want, CarPlay. And then that's it. They buy it.
The average mind only thinks about CarPlay, man.
What's funny, dude, is like, honestly,
Let me
I'm like,
introduce you to just like a nice 90s, even though I don't even have this. I have CarPlay in the E36.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I want to swap that back to just like a nice, like you can get like a Continental radio. It's pretty sick. It looks super period correct.
all
like,
I want, though,
just
these days I don't even listen to music in the car. I don't. And I'm like, so literally, I'm like, there's no point. I don't listen to the music when I'm in the EG. So I'm like, no point in having speakers. And then I'm just going to get like a block off radio kit or whatever. I'm like, maybe I'll just put Bluetooth in there just occasionally if I want to listen to a podcast. I'm like, I don't want like big old speakers in my EG. I'm like, I just want to hear my car.
I'm very against.
Windows down.
Unless you have like a truck, or it's just obviously it's your daily. I hate big speaker systems. Like just maybe upgrade the ones that are in there, or
But
just
also
get the Harmony Card On package.
Yeah,
But
I'm
like,
also not a fan of like headphones in cars. Like when I see dudes like with AirPods in a car, I'm like, that
it's
sounds
dangerous.
Yeah. It's like someone's like, I'm coming towards you. You're just like, that's bad, dude.
I've never been in that situation.
My headphones didn't allow me to hear what was happening behind me.
or I'm coming towards you.
I can't turn or brake. It's pinned.
But no, yeah, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not having a guy in the car.
I don't know really what to say to that. No, but
I think. I don't know. No, yeah. Anyways, speakers are dumb, but cars are cool.
I mean, but yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to think against what I just said about the speakers because I'm like, I don't know, which I understand. It's just not my thing. I yeah.
Here's what I was gonna say. Another thing. I have another point to talk about.
Oh.
Is that like we both want like multiple cars, but I want multiple cars and I want to keep them. Now, let's say I wasn't doing like content, I wasn't doing Motor Kings, we didn't have a dream about it. I would just like get a loan for a $15,000 car, hatchback WRX, enjoy it, improve it, sell it. New loan, E92 M3, improve it, enjoy it, sell it. New loan, E46 M3. And I would just go through the line of experiencing every car and then kind of like pick a couple that were my favorite and keep them forever. And I'm like, that's how I would do it. But I'm like, right now, I'm like, I like my EG and I built it and I want to keep it. So I'm going to keep it. But then I go, all right, but I want an E36 turbo build. And then I'm like, once I get that, I'm like, I want to build that. I'm like, where am I going to put it, right? So I'm like, our Motor Kings has to like start moving so I can get like multiple cars. Because I'm like, I want to keep them all. I want to get an E36. I want to get an E46 M3. I want to get an E92 M3.
That's the reason why I did get rid of the 135, and I haven't really done a lot of stuff to my truck. And I was gonna get the 996, either C4S or just get a Carrera. But then I just realized, I'm like, dude, oh my gosh! First of all, 2 sports cars as a daily, essentially 2 sports cars, be kind of rough. But also, it's just kind of tough when. I mean, we really don't make that much money, and we
Yeah.
have 2 German sports cars, so they're gonna need maintenance.
Yeah.
But then to be like, okay, let's buy a set of wheels.
Ah, dude, you're out for months.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it was
And then
so
it's
hard
like,
to start our
okay,
YouTube
let's
channel.
buy tires. And it's like, you're not going to go get crappy tires for this. You got to get some nice performance tires. And then you're like, okay, suspension. Looking at $3K, man.
This is
It's like, dude,
this is
this works.
precisely why. You know that one like,
Crushes
All
you.
Day Anthony guy?
Yeah.
He builds like he has a
Civics,
Lancer
yeah.
Evo and Civic. I'm like, that's why it's kind of smart. I'm like, if we were smart and then we only went business minded, now you're probably gonna disagree with this in some points. But imagine if you could just get the E36 M3 later and this exact same situation worked out. But I'm like, if we were smart, we would have just kept the CRZ and kept the Civic and modded the crap out of them for cheap and made a bunch of videos on them and then like upgraded it slightly. Gotten like an E36 project car and got an E46 project car, modded them out the waz and then upgraded slightly. And then we work our way up to having these cars. But I'm like, the fact that we went M6 and like Euro E36 and then we just had no money to be able to mod them. And like, that's why
Wouldn't
Motor
even
Kings died,
drive
bro.
them. And we're just like,
Yeah, then my engine blew and I'm like, well, it's going to be a couple years before we can start up Motor Kings again. And so I'm like, I'm glad I have a Honda now, and I'm glad that you got some stuff to put on the E36.
Yeah,
and I'm
man.
glad we have friends that have projects, because I'm like, now we can actually do
Also,
stuff.
like how much I've learned about working on cars, there's
Yeah.
essentially nothing that scares me anymore. So that's all.
Honestly, same.
I mean, good.
I mean, okay, the only thing that scares me is like the weight on my shoulders of knowing I have to do a project. That's a lot of work. That's the thing.
Man, no matter how much you learn,
It's still there.
it's still like that's the thing. I'm like
Replacing the head
mechanics-
gasket, I'm like, it's going
a
to be...
seasoned tech still hates to work on a sunroof, my man.
Yeah,
Like,
true.
It's just like that's
Well,
the
like,
way it is.
Even like the head gasket on the Civic, I'm like, I know it's going to be a fairly easy project, and I'm excited for us to kind of just like whip it out together. And like, if you're not there, that's fine. I can do it on my own. But I'm
I
like,
want to be there. Yeah, I want to
I'm
film it. And
it'll be fine. And like when I'm in it, it's fine. Like when I had to drop the transmission again on the EG after I'd already finished all that, I was like,
you kind of knocked that out though.
but then I was just like, well, I got 8 hours. I just got to do it. And then like when you're halfway through and you're like lifting it down and you're problem solving, it feels good because you're just getting things done. You're moving towards it. But I'm like, yeah, beforehand it sucks. So like when we're in the head gasket, it's going to be fun. But like beforehand, it's rough. But I don't know. These days, I'm like, probably the only thing that like, it doesn't really scare me, but I'm like, it's more like diagnosing. Like when you're poor and you see something leaking, you're like, huh, man, like, why is this leaking? I have to fix it without spending money. If I had money, I'd be like, hey, I'll replace that. It's easy to replace if I can just buy a new $300 Integra, what are those, steering rack, it's leaking right now, but they don't make them. So even on Rock Auto, it's a rebuild kit. And I'm like, I got to find one that's not leaking. So it's like, that's annoying when I figure out that mine's leaking. But otherwise, yeah, I'm like, the only time it stresses
you
me
probably
out.
take it to a shop and have them rebuild it.
Honestly-
I just promise you. I guarantee you.
No, like I would rather
We
them
go
do
through
it.
the process of rebuilding it. It will still leak.
No, I'm glad that there's someone else there that could do it. It just costs more money. So I'm like, rather just leak, refill.
Yeah.
I don't know for a while.
Loop
I mean,
the sucker and let it be.
honestly, yeah, maybe just go to non-power steering for now. But I'm like, all that work that I did. Now I get the rack on the Integra is better for the EG because it's a
Also
shorter
feel like-
distance. But I'm like,
Yeah.
all that work to get power steering and just to have it leak and then not want it. I'm like, could have just kept the manual rack. Didn't
Well,
leak.
didn't you have to swap the subframe anyways?
You don't have to stop. I didn't have to. I just did it purely for the rack. If I wanted to take the Integra rack, then yes, it is. You have to do custom bracket to mount it to the EG subframe. So it's like to
Yeah.
take the power steering. Yes, you have to do the rack. But if I was going to keep it manual, no, just keep a subframe like that.
I think it's good what you did.
I think it's fine. What do we got here?
Yeah, how long?
Hour 10 minutes, boys. Goodbye. Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, we could wrap it up because it doesn't need to be that long. But I think essentially we've learned a lot of BS from us today. And yeah, I don't know.
I just think
I was gonna realize I'm like it's just a bunch of opinions of ours, and whether you agree with us, you'll like it.
we don't
Disagree
have
with
to
us?
have some like dissertation on goodbye. We just go, guys. Like, so let me go through. No, I'm just like,
Summary.
thank you for watching. We appreciate you guys, and you'll see a lot of edits. Anyways, I'm doing the same thing. Goodbye. We love you guys.
Yes, thank you for watching.
Good job.
I was just thinking, I'm like,
Should there
That's
be
it?
like a
That's
last
it? We
story?
were literally
Well, I don't know. You look at the time and you go, well, they probably don't want to listen any longer than this. Like if someone like goes to work for 30 minutes and comes back to work for 30 minutes and we have an hour and 10-minute long podcast, man, it's too
are
long.
they gonna listen in their house for 10 minutes? Ugh.
Yikes. Anyways, goodbye, guys.
All right, thank you for
How many
watching.
times?
You can say goodbye.
See you, bros.